We'll be talking about Sempervivums today and just their general care. So they're quite a popular type of succulent and they're very, very hardy, which is probably part of the reason why they are so popular. But they're also a very close relation of echeveras, kalanchoes and crassulas.
Yeah, there's three other forms of succulent that we absolutely love, and they're also called hens and chicks, namely because you've got the mother plant, which is the hen, and the chicks that form around it as offsets. And they're also called houseleeks, and there's a bit of sort of history to that we'll go through a bit later on in the video.
So in terms of location and also just general conditions for Sempervivums, what you will find as a whole, first of all, in terms of their soil mixture, we've found that they've got a very strong preference for kind of a grittier soil mixture. So we go for a really sandy mix.
Yes.
The main reason we do that is that we find in terms of mealybug, which can be an issue for these guys occasionally, if you have a grittier mixture, you get a lot less mealybugs.
100%. Yeah, and then also with the lighting, they need about 6 hours minimum light per day. It can be full sun or it could be shaded. It won't really matter as a general whole for Sempervivums. They would let you know by closing up if they're getting too much sun, so that would be one indication, maybe shelter it or move that plant. But other than that, generally very, very hardy when it comes to light. They're very, very tolerant of multiple conditions.
And so as Gareth is kind of touching on there, we've got a very hot climate where we are in the summer, and considering that, we've found that they survive quite well with intermittent periods of lack of water. So just make sure that when you do water them, that you give them a very good soak, but allow the soil to dry out in between waterings, even if it's just for a day or so. And in terms of temperature, what would you say?
So as you're saying, with the hot summers, we get over 40 degrees Celsius during summer, and down to about -8 degrees Celsius during winter. And these plants have all survived through that outside. So amazingly versatile plants in that way. Really, really easy to grow. And again, you might lose maybe one or two off of a batch of them, but because there's so many offsets, you'll be left with most of the plant. So, and then, through trial and error, you could, maybe move one of the plants into a little bit different location, just then see how it goes there. So if you've got them potted, it's a bit easier to play around with as well.
Play with the conditions. So in terms of growing tips for Sempervivums, there is a few key things which you need to bear in mind. So as we touched on before, try to make sure that you don't overwater them. It can make them a little bit susceptible to root rot. Further to that, you can also, you'll notice that they're monocarpic. So when we say monocarpic, it basically means that one section of the Sempervivum, so like one of these little ones here, will flower, but after that bloom, it will die away. So just bear in mind that it's not something you've done wrong with the plant, it's just that section of the plant after it flowers will die back. But you should have plenty of offsets to basically make up for that loss. Is there any other ones there, Gareth?
What's our biggest pest that we
Mealybug.
Mealybug. So if you haven't seen them, they are tiny little insects that will get on your plant and essentially produce tiny white sacs, or not tiny, but it's like a white fluffy bit of fairy floss almost. And they can be very detrimental to the plant. So there's a couple of ways that we recommend you can reduce them. So first of all, we actually filter through our soil mix, don't we? And we add a lot more sand to make it a lot more gritty, as well as putting it around the top of the actual soil. We've found actually helps a lot. The other thing is definitely removing the leaves, the dead leaves I should say, from the plant. So they are a breeding ground, aren't they, Jared?
So it just encourages us like a little bit of an entry point for any pests.
Yes. So the other thing that you can do is watch out for ants, because they are definitely a sign that you will have a mealybug infestation. And it's when it's really bad when they get ants, and the ants will actually protect the mealybugs and try and attack their natural predators, which is pretty crazy because they eat their byproducts. So If you do
It's
have
a
ants,
symbiotic relationship.
yeah, if you've got ants, then you might have a problem, and that's when you'd probably just go to an insecticide, which, you know, we definitely have had it get to that stage before, and yeah, eventually, hopefully you'll be able to save the plant, but yeah, just something to be wary of in the future. When it comes to propagation with Sempervivums, it's probably the easiest of all the plants, I would almost say, Joe.
They're pretty easy for it,
of most succulents. So it's as simple as just getting one of the offsets and yeah, just cutting it or even gently pulling that off. You probably should let it callus just to make it 100% sure it should take.
Clear off any dead leaves as
Yeah,
well.
clear off the dead leaves, and then within a week, I mean, you can see on this guy, and we'll put a video and photo up, it's already got roots all over it, so it's actually a plant that's ready to go, a mini plant, and you'll get so many numerous offsets from Sempervivum that you could have hundreds of plants, you know, depending on how many. You can see here there's probably about 50 plants in just that one pot, so amazing plants to propagate. Yeah, so there are some very interesting facts and folklore when it comes to Sempervivums, aren't there, Jared?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, so one of its common names is a Houseleek, and that is because of the ability of it to root on a rooftop, isn't it?
Yeah, so they've actually got a specific type of Sempervivum, guys, which is called a Tectorum, which literally means to live forever on the roof.
Yes, and in certain cultures, they also believe that if you have them growing on your roof, it will bring you health and prosperity. So maybe something we need to get onto here.
We'll have to get busy.
Yeah, and there's also something about gods on Earth, or
yeah, they're also supposed to be earthly manifestations of basically Thor and Jupiter.
both gods of thunder in different mythologies. One's Norse and one is Roman. So that means that they can do what?
So they're both thought to basically ward off fire and thunder. Yeah, so
again,
pretty crazy.
Not a big fan of thunder, so again, we might have to get on to doing that. What else have we got coming up? We've actually got a whole variety now of our Sempervivums that we've got in our garden, don't we?
Yeah, so we're just quickly going to pop up a few of the Sempervivums and here ID them for you as well. So enjoy, guys.
And make sure you like and subscribe because we know you're going to love these.